Good evening. The meeting for historic preservation shall come to order. We have two members that are not present, but they are with us on a conference call. So we do have a quorum and all members are present. So now we will have the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Public comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters on the agenda for action. Each person has up to 5 minutes to speak on a specific agenda item. Members of the public may participate in the meeting without being physically present by one of the following methods. Written comments may be submitted via the public comment form, or you may comment during the meeting. Members of the public may call 702-589-9629. The public comment period is now open. Since there are no public comments, we will then go to item 1 on the agenda. For possible action, approval of the minutes of the March 23rd, 2022 regular meeting.
I'll make a motion to accept them as printed and distributed.
Second?
All in favor say aye.
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 Motion carried. Agenda item 2. For possible action, update on implementation of the committee's goals and priorities.
Yeah, good. I will fill in for Michael tonight. As you can see in your packet, he's got his monthly report, and the most recent comments are highlighted in bold. With regard to the draft changes to the Historic Preservation Code that the ad hoc committee worked on, the City Council will discuss that on May 24th to provide staff direction.
Okay. Any comments on the matrix?
I have a question. Is there any chance that we can find who the 10 property owners are that are requesting a portion or all of the
100,000.
historic preservation grant?
I don't know if now's the appropriate time for that, but I'll check with Michael.
Yeah, would you please? Maybe it's not appropriate.
No, eventually, trying to recall if those grants will come before the committee anyway, but it's very possible that, from what I've heard so far, that some of those applicants, their projects may not be eligible,
Right.
given the rules that the committee established and adopted.
Okay.
So all the eligible ones will definitely come before you.
All right. So can you let us know, or have Michael let us know, or maybe I can just call Michael. The other question is, I assume camp is scheduled for May 21st, that is correct, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. Perfect.
Okay, very good. All right, then we'll
I'd
move.
just like to say,
Oh, Ray, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'd just like to say how nice it is to, I was personally contacted by a homeowner who was interested in availing of this opportunity, and it's nice to see it coming to fruition, to see one of our goals having an impact. So I just wanted to mention that.
Oh, okay, does he need to repeat that? Okay. Please repeat, Ray. They didn't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I just wanted to say that it's very encouraging to see this program bearing fruit, so to speak. And I myself was contacted by a homeowner last week who's interested in availing of this opportunity. So just wanted to say that it's nice to see that one of our goals is bearing some fruit.
I would make the same comment. I know of one person that has contacted, has already received the application. So it is bearing fruit, I think. I think people are getting, I mean, you put some money out there, people are gonna look at it, so.
Okay, any other comments on the matrix? Okay, then we'll move on to item 3. For possible action, discussion regarding activities for Historic Preservation Day and selection of property for the award for 2022.
Did the committee just want to dive into the award first?
That's fine.
That'd be great.
Sure.
Okay. I handed out paper copies of a nomination made by Member Turner recently for the home at 421 Birch Street, and I emailed the ARA form, the same information to members Davenport and Turner within the last half hour, in case they haven't already looked at that. But the staff report includes both the one nomination that was made by a member of the public, and that was for 623 California Avenue. However, for that property, according to the Northwind survey update for the historic district, that property is not considered contributing to the district, and therefore it's also not eligible for individual listing. Those are not mandatory criteria for the committee to consider. However, it was listed on the application as a factor that the committee could consider. And as mentioned last month, what we did in this case, since there was only one nomination, and other than the one just made by Mr. Turner, is that this packet also includes backup information for previous runners-up over the years, with photos and a listing of, by grouping as to which were considered either contributing and/or also eligible for listing in the National Register. And then the second grouping is for those that are considered neither of those two. So the committee's task, if you still wish to have the award presented at the council meeting on May 10th, is you'd need to make that choice tonight. And then hopefully I could still work with Member Davenport over the next few days to get that language drafted up, because we would need to have the certificate signed by early next week. The packet items are due on next Tuesday for the council meeting the following Tuesday. So
Okay.
with that, given that some members may have more than one choice, what I might recommend to try to keep this organized is that each member list their one or two top choices, then we'll see what everybody has in common.
Okay, what we can do is just start with Glenn, just give us 1 and 2, and then myself, and then Charlie.
Well, I'm just gonna leave it at 1, the one that was submitted for the 421 Birch Street. Earlier conversation, Charlie reminded that it's also individually eligible for the National Historic Registry, so I would just I'd go along with that compared to other things we've seen and stuff like that for historic preservation. I think this would be the one to hand out. Just my thoughts. The house on California is very nice looking. They did a real nice remodel, but it took it out of being a historical value. I mean, it looks excellent, but it's just non-contributing, so I'd have to stick with the 421 Birch Street.
Okay. Thank you, Glenn. I looked all of the potential awardees, and it looks like my first choice would be 421 Birch Street. I think that falls within the contributing, and also all of the that have been updated are very, very good. I also wanted to nominate the Boulder Dam Hotel for my second choice. I know that they're already on the National Register, but I want to commend the volunteers that have worked on the hotel in the last few years. They've done a marvelous job of updating the property there, and I want them to be recognized, and that would be my second choice. Did you hear me, Holly? Yes. Okay. 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 Uh-huh. That's okay. All right, go ahead, Charlie.
All right, my only choice is 421 Birch Street, and thank Ray for nominating that because it's a deserving property.
Okay, Ray?
Okay, is it okay for me to say a few words about the house on
Of course.
on
Take your
Birch
time.
Street? Obviously, I would like to nominate the house at 421 Birch Street, and it was built in 1938. It's built in the Spanish ranch style. It has a gable and hipped roof with tiles. The exterior is a stucco, and it has wooden double-hung windows, and it's very well maintained. It's been very well looked after. It's a beautiful little house, and it has not been altered since the last historic survey, which was in 1982. There's been no alterations to it, and it's been very well maintained since that time. So I feel it's deserving of the award, and a great example is set to other potential and current homeowners in the historic district, and as well as it's been determined to be individually eligible for the National Register. I mean, it just sets the greatest example. So I just wanted to say that for the benefit of the public.
Okay, thank you.
So that's my nomination. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Actually, can I, Ray, can I ask a question? Have you talked to the people that own that house?
No,
I mean, the only
didn't,
reason I
because
asked
made a
that is
mistake.
because if you remember last year, we nominated a house and it was awarded, and then the guy didn't want the award, so
Well, it's interesting because this time I did approach the person that I originally wanted to nominate, and that person told me they didn't. When they found out, they said, no, please don't do that. So I decided not to approach anybody for my next selection,
Well, I'm all for that, but I just wanted to bring that up because.
But I don't know. I don't know the name of the homeowners, but I know they have a wonderful house.
Okay. Thank you, Ray. All right, Blair?
Hi, everyone. I also nominate 421 Birch Street for all of the reasons that everybody already mentioned. And
Okay.
that's my only nomination.
Okay, hands down. I think it's 421 Birch Street. And good choice. All right, very good. Then we will proceed with that award for this year. So congratulations, 421 Birch Street, if you're listening in.
Linda, I want to make a comment here about this. We discussed this last year,
Oops.
and one of the things that I argued in favor of was that we put in the criteria for nomination needs to include a statement that the building has to be classified by Mooney, since that's the newest, has to be classified as contributing. We can't be nominating buildings and awarding awards to buildings that don't contribute to the integrity of the historic district. So I don't know why we can't make that a criteria. Now, I know it says that the committee will consider factors such as blah, 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 but it should be a criteria for nomination. And I don't know why we can't state that plainly, that the building or the property or whatever must be considered contributing. So I'm going to bring that up again, and I'll keep pounding on that.
Madam Chairman, if,
Yes.
The appropriate way that would be dealt with next year is that in the information that goes out to the public, if the committee wants to require that when you choose the winner, that it must only be for a contributing property, that would be your choice. But the members of the public who choose to nominate, most of them aren't going to try and look that up in advance. They won't know. They're going to nominate whatever they think is appropriate or looks pretty, or what they think is historic, just like the person who nominated 623 California. You can't expect that the public is going to do that homework in advance, and we can't not forward those nominations to you. But, like I said, for next year, if the committee as a whole wishes to state in the information that goes to the public that in order to be considered as the winner, that the property must be contributing to the district, you could state that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I think that's fine. I mean, you can state it that the award will not be, it will not be awarded to a property that is not contributing. And if somebody ignores that, that's fine. And I agree, Susan, yes, somebody can nominate whatever they want to nominate, but
The actual award will
but the
go,
award can't be given to a non-contributing property,
Well,
okay?
that'd be one of the things that we would look at on a house that's nominated. We have the resources to determine if it
Well,
is
sure,
or isn't, so
yeah.
we can sort things out at that time. I mean, I agree it should be put in the information going out to the public, let them know. But like Susan says, people just might not know if it is or isn't, but then it'd be up to us to weed those out if they
Well,
are nominated.
I mean, there is a form that they fill out to nominate. And I don't know why on that form it can't say that if your house is not contributing.
Well, I agree, have that criteria on the form.
Yeah.
But somebody out there might,
Now, somebody still might not read it, I understand.
yeah, or they might not know how to find out if it is or isn't. And that would then come back to us to, yeah, this is a great house.
Discriminating, yeah.
But it doesn't meet all the criteria, even
Okay.
though it was submitted by.
All right, I just want to make that point, because I don't see any point in talking about houses that aren't, aren't contributing.
Yeah, no, I agree it should be on the form and stuff like that, but like Susan said, there's gonna be people out there that don't know if it is or isn't, then it'll be up to us to say, no, that one's not eligible, or that one is, this one isn't. I think we can handle that as a body pretty easily.
sure. Okay, then on the next
I
year's
have some
form.
thoughts, if I might.
Ed Ray,
add.
sure.
And I just want to make sure this is the appropriate time for us to have this discussion. I don't want to make the meeting go on any longer than it needs to, but if it is an appropriate time, I have some thoughts I'd like to share.
Okay, go ahead.
So anyway, one thing that I think would be helpful going forward is if all of the committee members made a nomination as well as the public, and that would ensure that we have a good quality of nominations, so to speak, coming in. And then the other thing is when people do nominate a property and it's deemed to be non-contributing, could we not have the city respond back and just politely let them know that it's not a contributing resource, rather, because, it's so hard for people to look this stuff up. It really is. I mean, it's bad enough for me, never mind
Could you
them,
speak up a
so-
little? Ray, I'm sorry, we're not getting
Oh, I'm
that
Yeah,
very
sorry.
clearly.
it's coming out a little bit of a mumble. If you could repeat the
I'm
last
sorry,
two
I'm trying.
sentences?
Okay. So I think that all the committee members should make a nomination every year, the committee members as well as the public. And I think that when the public nominates a property and it's deemed to be non-contributing, I think a polite maybe response from the city to let that person know that the property doesn't contribute, then that would take care of a lot of those kinds of nominations, perhaps.
I don't know.
Just
Susan,
wanted
what do
to
you
throw
think
that out
about
there.
that?
Well, the public will nominate what they choose to nominate, so if we inform the nominator after the fact that their selection wasn't eligible, it's not like the rest of the community is going to know anything about it. Basically, again, anything nominated, we will bring forward to the committee. The committee at a public meeting will make its choice and can certainly then repeat. If next year you choose to make it mandatory that properties be contributing, you could just simply keep repeating that. And you might, as you talk to citizens, start beating that drum, to let them know that the award needs to be for contributing properties and how important it is to keep properties well-maintained so that they can stay contributing.
Yeah, I agree with Susan. I think we need to
Very good.
soft pedal that. And then after the fact, then we can let them know why they did not receive the award so that they understand if it's, go ahead, Susan.
That might be considered, impolite.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. We want to do the best.
It's not like if you have a beauty pageant that you tell the people who don't win why they weren't good enough.
Yeah.
It's just simply understood that if there's a competition, there's going to be one winner, and if you're not it's not necessary to go into negative reasons why. Certainly if any of the nominators or owners ask why they weren't selected, we would certainly tell them, if the primary reason was that their property was not contributing to the district. We would never withhold that information.
Okay, so we want to soft pedal it as much as we can, so.
Yeah, I think just by, if somebody submits a house for consideration, we look at it, if we decide, no, this is not contributing to the guidelines, then we just set it aside and then we just vote on whatever one we think is the most suitable for the award and leave it at that. Like Susan said, if they call and ask, well, then they could have a conversation about maybe why it wasn't selected, and part of that reason could be, well, yeah, part of it was, it's supposed to be contributing, and there might be a perfect time to educate them about what a contributing house is and what a non-contributing house is. So it's just, I'd let them contact us after that, but we would just do our job and pick the ones that we think is contributing and it deserves the award.
Okay, all right. Thanks for everyone's comments. Blair, did you have anything?
Nope, I don't. Thanks for the conversation.
Okay, thank you. All right, then we'll move on. Number 4, for possible action. Oh, wait a minute, we're not through yet. We're just doing the award first. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you want to skip it?
Yeah, no, we want to go back now. Sorry about that, you guys. We have our big day coming up. And so I'm going to go back then to page, let's see. We're now back on page 20. Page 20 is where we start on the actual Historic Preservation Day. I did go over this really carefully. I think we've pretty much covered it. I just wanted to show the committee the first, second, and third place ribbons for the Art Guild. Those prizes will be given out, and those have been purchased, and they're ready to go for the award. And then I also wanted to tell Susan that we have a need for place cards. I have a little note here.
Do you mean name tags or place, what do you mean place
Little
cards?
place cards like this for the panel discussion for every member that's going to participate. I'd like to have little place cards for each member that's participating on the panel discussion, and I didn't see it in any of the tasks here, so if you could just add that.
I will.
Okay. The only other thing that I saw that there was one little tiny change, and I think it was actually my fault. On Thursday, Glenn has a reminder to pick up the key because I think the Park District is only open through Thursday. So they close up on Friday, so we want to make sure that gets picked up on Thursday. And then we have the building at 1 o'clock. And I noticed on the task list that we're supposed to be there at 1. So I have a little committee coming and to help with tables and chairs to set up. And Glenn is going to be there at 1 also to open up the building. So that was the only change that I saw.
I'm sorry, what's it?
Oh,
Does it not say 1 o'clock on the
it
list?
does say 1, and I had down on my stuff at 1:30, so it was my mistake.
Oh,
Yeah, but your task
okay.
time is 1 o'clock. Let's see, that would be on page,
Well,
if you need to know.
If it's correct in the list, then
yeah,
that's all that's
it's
matters.
correct.
Okay.
So we'll be there at 1 on Friday to set up. So any of the committee members that can be there, please do. Glenn will be there, and then my volunteer committee will be there. I think we can handle it probably in about less than an hour to get everything set up.
Yeah, I plan to be there.
Oh, good, Ray. Good. Okay, I don't see any problem getting everything set up. And then I wanted to thank the.
Got one tiny quick question.
Oh,
for
yeah, go
Susan. I'm going to pick up the key on Thursday, which is fine. Would it be acceptable to return it on Monday? I mean, it wouldn't be any way of returning it to the Park and Rec Building on Saturday or Sunday, so would they be all right with bringing it back
Yeah.
on Monday? That shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, no, that'll be fine, since their buildings normally close then anyway.
Yeah, I'll
so-
make sure it's locked up at the end of
Okay.
Saturday. Not just,
Glenn?
yeah, Ray.
Glenn, I just wanted to mention, you might mention to Parks and Rec that, so that the day after, on May 15th, the Boulder City History and Arts Foundation is having an event in the building also. So we will also need to pick up a key. So if it's a case where you just pass off the key to me, then that would also work for me, if you like.
Well, maybe we can meet on Thursday when I pick up the key, and then let them know that I'll transfer the key to you on Saturday, or would that work for you? Or I know you're working.
Yeah. Well, I'll talk to them about it too. In the meantime, I have to talk to them about a couple of things anyway.
Okay, yeah, because if they're good with it, I don't mind passing the key on to you at the end of Saturday's festivities.
Right, just clear with
Yeah.
Parks and Rec how they'd like that to be handled.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, sounds
Okay,
good.
great.
Okay, so we're on the same page then. We'll be there at 1 o'clock on Friday to set up. Glenn will get the key, and Ray on Thursday, they'll work it out. Okay, and then.
Yes.
Good. All right, then I want to move on to the schedule of events, which is on page 25. It's not actually numbered, but it is page 25. I wanted to thank the city for this wonderful map that they've created on the back. It's very nicely done. And those will be,
And actually, I wanted to give a thanks, who you owe thanks to the map for, especially with the interactive QR code, is Jennifer Woodward, our GIS analyst. So
okay.
I don't know
Thank
if
you.
any of you have pointed your phone at the QR code, but it's brilliant because it pulls up that map, and then as you tap on any of the symbols for the locations, it pulls up the photo of the building, and then below that
And
is
that
the
says-
schedule. It will tell you, no.
Oh, okay. Oh, the LA Water and Power, yeah.
Right, well, for each venue, when you
Yeah.
pull it up on your phone, it will
Oh.
have the schedule of what's happening there and at what time.
Okay,
So-
oh, that's neat. Is this a little,
Yes, that's.
okay, that's what you call, what is it?
It's a QR code.
QR code.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thanks, Jennifer. Thanks for your help with that. It's beautifully done, and we thank you for your
You
expertise.
probably have to download the QR reader onto your phone.
You don't have
Oh.
to download the reader, you just have to point your phone's camera at it.
Oh, really? Okay,
Automatic? Cool.
okay. All right, good. All right.
Let's see if
Okay.
my phone's smart enough to do that.
You gonna try it?
Sure, why not?
All right.
Well, just see, you know, all right. So you can take a picture of it, or?
No, something may pull up that you have to tap on. If it looks like it puts a little frame around it, then you just tap on that.
It's a little Christmas tree thing.
You just open your photos on your phone, and as soon as it sees the QR code, it gives it a link comes up on your screen.
It's like that little photo thing, the icon? The icon?
Yeah, you just as if you were going to take a picture of it, you just open your phone to the photo setting, and as soon as it picks it up immediately, and then a link comes up on the phone screen if you're using your phone, and then it takes you directly to the map.
Glenn's trying it, Ray.
I think my phone's too stupid.
He's not so smart, huh?
I did it myself. I did it myself today a couple of times already. That's how it works on an iPhone anyway. I'm sorry, I should have clarified.
I got a picture of it, but that's
Oh, you
about
did
it.
get a picture of it? Okay.
Oh, well. I know where these buildings are at, so I'm not gonna worry about it.
Yeah, that's one nice thing about Boulder City. Everything's like 10 minutes away, and you can just walk to all these activities just downtown. It's really quite nice. Hopefully, we'll have good weather. Well, close enough. Okay, I think that's it then. Oh, Charlie. Okay, go ahead.
There, on the page 23, the Railroad Museum, it says, determine if posters, copies, name badges, or other displays are needed from city. So I called Chris, and he said the only thing they'd like to have is a poster. Susan, there's gonna be posters made, I assume, well, or sheets that, or maybe it's maybe it's this one here that's the outline of the events. Yeah.
Could you confirm with them if they actually want a poster or if they want handouts of something?
Well, I think they just want this, they want to put it on their ticket booth. So they want it ahead of time, I guess, so they can put it on their ticket
Oh,
booth.
like a
just
little
ahead of-
flyer?
Yeah,
Okay.
like a
Yeah.
flyer, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but a small flyer or a giant poster?
Well, I'll ask him, yeah, he
Okay.
didn't say, but yeah, I think that's what he said, he wants to put it on the window at the ticket booth, so.
Okay, well then, in that case, maybe
it might
just, the schedule,
The
just
schedule might
paper, or we can laminate it for them so that it's easier. And that way, then they can just tape it to their booth window. Just let me know if an 8.5 copy of the schedule is fine, or if they,
Want something bigger.
when I hear poster, I think something bigger.
Well, that's what,
so-
yeah, exactly. So now I'll clarify with him, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Charlie. I did speak with Susan on the phone, which reminds me now. We talked about larger posters on an easel, but Susan is developing a small poster that'll be on a table easel, so I can just pick it up after the meeting and take it to the next venue. So it'll be
Right,
tabletop.
and that one I did per your request a couple months ago. It's not going to be the schedule, it's just going to have the city logo and a big title that says Historic Preservation Day. And that way then, because the idea, I think, was you wanted people, when they entered those different venues, to be able to spot where your activity is.
Exactly.
So yes, I'll probably do something like 18 by 24 or 17 by 11, and I got a little tabletop display that you can use to prop those up, and it should be pretty easy to cart that one sign and the easel to each of your 3 venues.
Right, that was perfect. So I think that's going to work out quite well. So the only other thing then that I think we need are the place cards. That's the only thing I can think of right now. If there's anything else, we'll give you a call.
I guess one question I would have for the committee members, because it's been done 2 ways over the years, for your name tags. In the past, we've sometimes done them as the sticky type that you put on your shirt or your blouse or whatever. But I think in previous years, when it was a long event, some people might have complained that the sticky part didn't last after so many hours. And so in other years, I printed up little, like, cardstock tags and did a hole punch and gave you safety pins so you could pin them to your shirts.
Yeah.
So which do you prefer?
I think I prefer the cardstock with the safety pins. How about you guys?
Will they go in a lanyard? Because I have a lanyard with a thingy.
Yeah, I mean,
if it's just, because I just happen to have one, I mean, I'd just soon put it on a lanyard and have it hanging around my neck, but, I mean, as long as it'll fit in the little plastic thing.
I guess, well, they're not preset sizes. If it's cardstock, I think there was 8 per page or something, so hopefully it will
Yeah,
fit, or
that'll
you
be
can
fine.
let me know.
Okay.
I'll keep that in mind.
Okay, great, sounds good. Blair, is there anything else, or Ray, that you have that we might need that day? Did you hear me? Blair or Ray? Are they still there?
Sorry, I had it on mute.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we just,
I'm so.
what we're discussing is if there's anything else that you might need from the city the day of, like any kind of posters or flyers or anything like that. That way we can give them a heads up.
No, I'm okay. I think I'm okay. Nothing comes to mind. I think if it does, I certainly won't be shy about reaching out.
Okay. And Blair, how about you?
I think I don't need anything more that's already addressed or on the spreadsheet or the to-do list. Everything's good for me.
Okay, great. All right, then I think we're in good shape. So if there's anything you need or anything like that, just give me a call or give the city a call. So we'll keep tweaking. All right, so I think we got all our work done there. And then Blair will work with Susan on the award itself, the certificate. All right. I'm just looking everything over here to make sure. Okay. And then we'll move on then to item 4 for possible action. Discussion, update on the status of properties in the historic district or other potentially eligible properties. Any discussion?
Yeah, Susan, I have a question for you. The 515 Cherry, if I look at the what do you call this? The historic registry addresses. The reason that 515 Cherry, it says the guidelines do not apply to the subject address. And that's correct, but if you look at that historic registry address, it says 503 to 560 Cherry, and then it says all. And do you see what I'm looking at, Susan? It's that yellow,
On page 58.
So if you look at 503 to 560 Cherry, it says all, but that's not correct because.
No, you're confusing the registry with the guidelines. The registry is for every single property in the district, and 515 Cherry is in the district. But because 515 Cherry is not an original house to that street, there are no adopted guidelines for 515 Cherry. If you look up online for the guidelines for the homes on Ash, Birch, and Cherry Street, 515 Cherry is exempted from that because it's
Okay,
not a
all right,
historic
so that's
house.
where it, okay, well, that's fine.
Right.
That's just, yeah, okay. Because some of these do exclude, like California excludes 701 and 751.
Right, and that just means that they're not in the district. So the registry lists every address, or block, et cetera, that's in the district.
Okay, all right, fine.
Right,
Yeah,
but as you
okay.
know, not every property in the district has guidelines for
Right,
them.
oh, yeah,
So-
yeah, which hopefully that will change, hopefully.
Oh, okay. Any other comments on item 4? Okay, we'll move on to 5 for possible action. Committee discussion regarding potential agenda items for upcoming Historic Preservation Committee meetings.
Can I say something?
Yes,
Sorry.
go ahead, Ray.
I was on mute again. I know that I had asked for an agenda item to discuss us planning a couple of educational programs, and I know that Susan said that she'd make sure it was on the agenda for the June
Correct.
meeting, so I just wanted to throw that out there, just a reminder. So.
Thank you.
Okay, any other comments? Okay, then hearing none, then we'll move to public comment. Each person has up to 5 minutes to speak at the discretion of the chair. Comments made during the public comment period of the agenda may be on any subject. All remarks shall be addressed to the Historic Preservation Committee as a whole, not to any individual member of the Historic Preservation Committee, of the audience, or of the city staff. No person other than the members of the Historic Preservation Committee and the person who has the floor shall be permitted to enter into any discussion either directly or through a member of the Historic Preservation Committee without the permission of the chair or presiding officer. No action may be taken on a matter raised under this item. So, with that said, then, if there are members that would like to, and if there are members of the public that would like to comment, you can telephone us now at 702-293.
No.
I'm sorry, 702-589-9629. And we'll give you a few minutes here. Thank you. Okay, the public comment now period is now closed, and with that, this meeting is adjourned.